So tell me one thing, what is your experience? When should people start preparing for the GMAT, or is it anything like for round one, it is too late then? When would be the ideal time for people to start now that we are in March?
Yes, sir. So I believe that it's a good time now. Round one applications begin, the deadlines begin first week of September. Mm-hmm. So, there's about 6 months of time. So that is sufficient amount of time to go through the whole course as well as do a full revision, and then, take a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks for a revision, and then do your GMAT attempt. So right now is a very good time. And I mean, I would suggest not to delay it anymore, but obviously if people are on a tighter schedule, there are numerous accounts of people doing their GMAT in 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, but it all depends on their commitment and amount of time they can give, right? So so generally, if you're working for me, I am running my business, so I had to be focused on my business as well as studying for the GMAT. So it took me, I would say an average of 3 to 4 months time, and that is a perfect time period. In 8 weeks, I was able to complete the live sessions with you, and then it took me another month after that to do a full revision, and then I was able to take the GMAT attempts. So saying that, sir, I mean, the most important thing is to be on top of the coursework, the pre-work, and be completely up to date, and that will then when you come to the revision period after finishing the course, everything will just come back quickly to your memory, and you can get into consistent long hours of practice, and be successful in giving the actual GMAT, and then obviously focus on your applications after that. I would say it's a 2-step process. First, do a complete focus on your GMAT, clear that, and then do a totally shift to the application process and do 100% focus on that.
In terms of applications, could you just tell what challenges that were unanticipated, that when in August you started, or whatever, round one or round two, and this was like, it takes so much effort, I did not know, or it takes so much time. Was there something like a ton of work to do that was unanticipated? Just give me an idea about the application process. How were you able to navigate all that? Yes.
So yes, sir. So like I said, I also went through the whole process of studying for the GMAT and applying last year, and I finished my GMAT in July, on the 22nd of July 2022, and that left me with about 6 weeks of time before the first deadline.
Right.
And obviously, I enlisted the help of Autry with my applications. And I had this whole plan in my head that I'll apply to these many schools, and this is going to be these are my targets and these are my goals and all that stuff. Obviously, Autry recommended that I should sort of trim the list down a bit, but even though I only had 6 weeks to the deadlines, the first deadline being a Wharton, which is 7th of September, and then rolling all the way till the end of September, which would be I forget I think maybe MIT, which is 29th. So through the whole month of September, there was constant work going on. And I honestly was able to apply to 10 schools, sir, with the help of Autry. And, like I remember you saying last year that, within a month, you can very easily apply to 5. And I thought, 10 is too big a number, too big a list to be applying to. But, we somehow got it done. And I was sort of working, constantly on the essays.
But it's a huge process, right? You will not discount the process. Like, it's a huge process.
I mean, I wish I had actually got done with my GMAT maybe a month in advance, so that I got more time to think through some of my other essays, because there were some essays which I was completing literally the day before the deadline, and
everybody's reality, more or less.
Yeah, and like Bhakti was saying, for example, Columbia is on a rolling basis. I only was able to apply to Columbia on the day before the deadline, so I got waitlisted, and then I'm still sort of on the waitlist there. So yeah, it always makes sense to sort of get done with the GMAT process first, and get done with it as soon as possible, and then put your full focus on the essays. don't dilly-dally between studying also and doing your essays also, because वो कुछ नहीं ठीक से होगा. You'll be half-hearted in both aspects.
Right,
So
right.
it has to be a full concerted effort, 100% effort for the GMAT, clear the GMAT, get your desired score, and then full 100% effort on the applications, because it does take a lot of time. Obviously, it's not as stressful or I would say anxiety inducing as the GMAT prep is, but it has its own stresses and has its own deadlines, and a lot of thinking goes into it. So the more time you have, the more refined your essays and your short answers can be, and the better your overall application will be. So yeah, definitely try to keep at least 2 months before the first deadline to begin your application process, and your thinking process, your story, how you want to place yourself, what kind of angle you're sort of trying to create.
Absolutely, you're so right. I mean, 2 months is not what people generally plan, but they should definitely. And it is a very taxing and time consuming process. It's a whole soul searching. It's a drain on your entire mental resources, but at the end you also know yourself better, and you really know I can absolutely face anybody and sell. So it's a great process to go through, but it takes time. So you're saying, I mean, these are the two questions I had specifically for you. When should people start, and how much time does the application process take? Because we know what time GMAT will take for an average student, that I know, but application process I really wanted to have. And how have you been very relieved once you got your admissions? Let me ask on a lighter note.
In my mind, I was already in London, and I was planning. My mom's sister lives there, so I was discussing with her, where to stay and all that stuff. And then I kept discussing with her.
Leaving right afterwards, that going to the same university where you did your undergrad eventually must have
Yes,
been
sir.
very relieving eventually. Right?
Yeah, it was quite surprising, because I know other people from my batch who were in undergrad with me at Penn, and they didn't even get interviewed. So I was pretty worried about that, and I don't know why, like how Nupur mentioned that Autry somehow has some knowledge or some expectation, that he also mentioned to me that I have good hopes for Wharton. So I didn't know where he was thinking that from, but somehow it came through, and I realized how apt and well he knows each school and what kind of student they're looking for. So yeah, it was a big relief. It was only Autry and my father actually who kept saying "Aa jayega, Wharton aa jayega," but I was still I was just praying ki okay, I've got London. I just wanted another option, hoping for another option, but I was okay with London. In my mind, I was set at
No,
LBS.
I'm
But
just trying to tell the future aspirants as to how relieving it must be to hear this. No, and seven schools are a great ecosystem. I mean, you just can't really measure that. You say, oh, Wharton and Kellogg are parent schools to ISB, but nationalities, the number of people, the kind of people, the diversity, everything adds to it. It's not just financial accounting to wohi rahega. It's not like that. I mean, there's goods in that okay, what can you teach different in marketing? This is the way we evaluate, but when these people come out, trust me, talk to them 2 years later if you can, over LinkedIn maybe, you will not believe the transformation they've gone through. They already must be in that zone, because talking to such people who've gotten through, not just from India but other places, it really puts them in a completely different bracket. And it's been a thrilling experience hosting you and really helping you over the months. Any students here, if they want to connect, I'm not sure how busy they'll get once they're in school, but you can still take tips from them till they're here.